Howdy, hey, you are back, and we are drinking with the Beer Whisperer again. Weather got warm on me again today, so I wanted to kind of do something light. Because it's a long day, and I'm cooking, and I'm going to do heavier stuff later, but I want to do something lighter. From Boulevard out of Kansas City, Mo, not far from here. They're new, brand new year-rounder called Hoppy Wheat. They're 80-acre Hoppy Wheat. 5.5, 20 IBUs. Let's take a look at that there. Now, I looked on their website, and most of their beers they list the ingredients for. Now, they don't on this one, and I don't know if it's just because it's so new they haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm not exactly sure. I am bothered by that slightly, but that's just because, you know, I'm a little OCD, so, you know, it's not their fault I have issues. But anyway, let me read from their bottle here real quick. With roots in two of today's most popular brewing styles, 80-acre Hoppy Wheat is the result of careful cultivation by our brewers and cellarmen. Their efforts to craft a hybrid yielded a bumper crop of flavor, a delightfully distinctive ale with the aroma of an IPA. Okay, aroma of an IPA. You following me? And the refreshing taste of a wheat. Okay, now I was disappointed my first time, but I was expecting more. I hoped something called Hoppy had more than 20 IBUs. I'm using my oldie glass, so don't take offense. You see that color? It is the color of a wheat. 5.5. So a little bit more going on than most standard wheats. Most of them are under 5. Not all, but most. Oh wow. This one runs 5.5. Tastes a lot of citrus and lemony qualities going on right there. Okay, now a lot of times this style tries to get just slightly hoppier. I mean, there's some other great examples out there, like Schlafly Yakima wheat, for instance, that feels hoppier than this one. But it does say in that description that they're going for more aroma. So, and it is there. It does have that. So, you know, you bring it up to your nose, you do feel that. If you're expecting an IPA, you're going to be disappointed because it isn't that. But if you want something light and refreshing, but a little more flavor than your standard American wheat, well, here you go. Oh, because right there, oh, that was it right there. Hold on a second. I just had a taste just come at me. Yeah, that's it. Okay, it's subtle, right? I mean, it's not IPA. Holy crap! It's subtle, but excuse me. It is there, and it kind of sits on you. Actually, I didn't notice in the first sip there, but it's kind of there on your palate the more you drink it. So, yeah, it is nice. I was hard on it the first time. I was easier on it the second time because, you know, I kind of broke my own cardinal rule, right? I'm one of these guys that make a point of saying you have to, you have to, you have to, 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 have to. You have to take each beer within its own style, right? Okay. So, and I kind of was judging it unfairly the very first time I drank it. Yeah, you have to. Even if you're not a fan of lagers and you're doing a beer review for lagers, you know, and all of a sudden you don't like all of them. You know, you don't like any of them. You taste, oh, that's terrible. And I've seen reviews where guys will bag on this particular lager for 5 minutes before they even pop the thing. You know, if you don't like the style, you shouldn't be drinking it anyway. And you're obviously not where you can give an honest, unbiased review. You have to take it within that style. What I mean by that is that there are excuse me, there are poor versions of American craft lagers and pilsners, and there are better versions. Many are adjuncts, but some go about it better than others. For instance, there's William K. Bush Brewing, fairly new, has a beer out called Crafting. It is a very, 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 very light lager. And if the name William K. Bush sounds familiar, well, yeah, it is one of those Bushes. Of course, actual Budweiser is essential to InBev, but William K. Bush popped this thing out. It is a light lager, like I said, but it is all malt. So, although you have this very light beer that has very light taste, and a lot of people when they drink these, oh, it just doesn't have much flavor, so I don't like it. It's not supposed to, y'all. It's the type of beer it is. But why crafting is a good example of a style is that not having a ton of adjuncts like corn syrup, many of the cheaper varieties use corn syrup, and because it's all malt, it even though it is light, even though it's not power packed with flavor, though it is there, it does make a nice, refreshing beer that finishes crisp and clean. And that's what I'm saying. You have to take each beer within its style. You can't say, well, it is light, it has no flavor, I don't like it. And I kind of went along. Sometimes I do that, don't I? I kind of ramble, go a long way around the bar. But this is if we were in a bar chit chatting, that's kind of what guys do, right? We kind of ramble and go the long way around the bar. Taking this within its style, which is murky at best. I mean, this is kind of one of those made-up styles that it's a hybrid, and American craft brewers are famous for that, which is great. This is why I champion American craft brewers, and even though there are great craft brews all over the world in many countries, I personally think American craft beers are the best, or I won't say the best. I will say they're doing the most for the industry all over the world because they aren't afraid to take it out of the box. I think a lot of European brewers are afraid to think out of the box a little bit. I mean, they're making great versions of existing styles, but very few are really challenging the palate like American craft breweries are, which is why I think American craft breweries are the best. My American, y'all. Anyway, all right, I just alienated anybody that's watching me that's not from America, but hey, I tell it like it is, y'all. Y'all, I start saying that. I grew up in Southern California, but I've been in Missouri now for, I don't know, close to 25 years anyway, over 20. So I'll start talking. I've got such a screwed up accent, I don't really talk like I'm from here all the time, but it's obviously I don't have that California sound anymore either. So I talk all sorts of different ways. I can even go drunk every now and again. Wow. I posted pictures the other day while had to be in St. Louis. It's a chain, but I never heard of them before. They're called Fuzzy Tacos, and we kept passing it. And I said, we got to go there because I've got to eat a fuzzy taco. They were actually pretty good. And then the joke is, fuzzy tacos, they're really good, but you got to eat them like this. They're packed with flavor, but you got to eat them. Anyway, that's a bad joke. It was good, actually. I digress. I actually ordered a cheese enchilada, a combo plate that had a cheese enchilada and a fish taco. It had a taco and an enchilada. You could choose what you wanted. I went with fish taco because, oh, you follow me? Anyway, I went with fish taco. Like I say, ate a fuzzy fish taco. And cheese enchilada. They made a mistake and brought me a chicken enchilada that came in like this creamy verde sauce. It looked good, so I was going to eat it anyway. I did have a craving for a cheese, but I wasn't going to complain. But the guy realized he made a mistake and offered to make me one anyway. So I ended up with both the cheese and the chicken. So we all kind of shared it all since I ended up with an extra enchilada. The cheese enchilada was really good too because it came with this kind of sour cream and cheese sauce on top that was just wonderful. I'm not exactly sure what cheese they used. Kind of tasted like queso blanco and probably a cheddar in the middle, but the top was white, so it kind of looked like a sour cream and queso blanco sauce. They're Tex-Mex. They're not intending to be absolutely authentic Mexican, so I knew what I was getting. But everything was very flavorful. Everything was done right. And again, it kind of goes back to judging everything within its style. I can't take that and judge it to a traditional Mexican plate, which is the food that I typically like to eat, because that's not what it's trying to be. And that's kind of the mistake a lot of people make is when they review beers, is that they take They take a drink of a beer, and if it doesn't meet their expectations, they're automatically hard on it. You know, a lager is supposed to taste a certain way, so you can't expect it to have these big, bold flavors. And if your expectations are up here to start with, you're going to be disappointed. And that's kind of the mistake I made with this one the first time, is my expectations were way up here on it. I was expecting something else, and then I realized that I was actually looking at it wrong. So when I went back and revisited it, and this is my third look at it, it's actually a great example because, well, I mean, it does have some flavor, a little bit more than a standard wheat. You can taste the hops, not IPA, you know, but enough that you can't taste them, and it's there, so it's still incredibly refreshing. There's a lot of flavors going on here. So even though it's not heavy, even though it is very light, it still has a lot of flavor. So it is a beer that can be extremely sessionable. It is a beer that, you know, if you're going out with some friends, you can have a few, not worried about getting super duper hammered. It is a beer that if you're at home cooking, like I am, or outside grilling, or, you know, just coming from doing yard work, you could have a couple, 3 or 4, and you know, just feel good about it. It's a good beer, so I recommend it. Again, I was hard on it the first time, and the more I drink it, the more it kind of grows on me. So, 80 Acre Hoppy Wheat. Put the bottle off to the side there. What I try, I don't collect every bottle that I drink. What I try to do is collect one of everything that I do drink, which I have a whole lot of. I'm eventually want to get my garage fixed, where it's kind of like a man cave / bar den kind of thing. And I'm nowhere close to there for a lot of reasons I'm not going to go into right now, but I keep one bottle. It's a big trend right now to keep bottle caps. It's just not something I'm interested in, to have a whole bunch of little bottle caps and put them on a thing. I understand why people do it, and I think it's great. It's just not something that I want to do. I'm not really a hoarder by nature, so I have to resist the urge to go in and toss everything, because I do that every once in a while. I just, oh, screw it, and I start throwing shit away, because I just hate the serious clutter. But I really like to keep one of everything. Okay, so we're at the last swallow, and we talked, we laughed, we cried. It's been an emotional day. Y'all bring it in. Let's hug it out. We're men, we can hug. I'm secure in my manhood. I don't need to overcompensate. I know what I'm working with. Anyway, now I digressed. Okay, I hate when I do that. Well, I don't hate it. Actually, it's kind of the favorite part of my day. But hey, last swallow. Boulevard. 80 Acre Hoppy Wheat. A great summer brew. Actually, great anytime brew, because it's got some flavor. You know, if you want a good beer, it's got some flavor, but not going to fill you up or overwhelm your palate. It's a great one. So there you go. Give her a shot. Bye-bye.